Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in two different tanks, and those two different tanks are driven by two separate people. Because this is a community replay video, and it's a video that I've meant to put out for a long time, like a very long time. Like, I'm so sorry it's taken me this long to get these videos out. There's this one, and I think there's another one or two after it. And I've had these replays for a wee while. I have meant to put them out. I'm sorry to those that are in these videos. I'm sorry, I'm just crap, alright? I'm just crap. It's because, generally, every time I've come to make a video, it's been like, oh look, there's a new tank to put out, I should do a video on that, or I've had a good game and I'm just overly excited about showing it, right? And then it ends up being like, okay, I need to do this video, oh wait, there's something new. You know, it just happens. And as well as that, some of these were received when I was having PC issues, so it was just a pain and I didn't want to make them while I was frustrated making videos. So it's just one of those things. It happens, right? And yeah, they're driven by two separate people. So this first replay is all about ChopperMeir. We all know and love Chopper. He's a great guy. He used to stream all the time, tanks. Now streams on Wednesdays every now and then. And he still produces the odd video here and there. So, like I say, go follow this guy on down below. If you don't follow him, you're missing out. Top bloke, top YouTube channel, and top streamer. Go check him out. It's Chopper. It's great. So, he's playing the Centurion Action 10. And the Centurion Action 10 is a beautiful little British Tier 10 medium tank. It's got the L7105 gun, which is fabulous. It's different to the FV4202 in the fact that it has APCR and heat. Now, obviously, the FV4202 has APCR and HESH on that gun, and obviously the HESH can be a meme, but it can let you down in a lot of situations where it's nice on the Centax to have the heat. But the Centax, while it gains that bit of mobility over the FV4202 and obviously the heat rounds, it also is a bigger target, so it's easier to hit, and it has far less armour. It's just something to bear in mind. But the one thing about this tank is the gun is absolutely fabulous. Now, what kind of crew do I run in the Centax? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Track Mechanics, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Snapshot, and Camouflage Expertise. Now, I run those because, well, just helping. I mean, the gun is fabulous, right? And making it as good as you humanly can is always a great thing to do. And I run camo because it's always nice to push up the camo of a medium tank. But to be honest, this tank is massive and it doesn't have the greatest camo rating in the universe, so you could definitely swap that out for a lot of other perks, like rapid aim to make your turret traverse better, armor angling to maybe reduce the damage you take a little bit, or some of the firefighting perks, because it does get set on fire a little bit here and there. There's lots of different, it's down to personal preference, right? I sometimes just like to buff up the camo a little bit, so when I'm in situations like maps like Westfield, I can use the bushes a little bit better, spot out, do damage from behind, and that sort of thing. It's just personal preference. So Chopper is on Sand River, and he is on the dunes at C7. He took a big clap from their base a minute ago, and it was one of the TDs from sat in their base, and he's just trying to get shots out. He's just been a little bit more careful because he took that big hit, and he knows there's something down there. He knows the FE4005 is there. If he pushes too aggressively too soon, it's just going to blap him again and end his day. He's on 4.3k damage, 565 assistance, and he's having a good time. And there's the other FE4005. It's always a bad time with his FE4005s. He's just got out of his render range, so he can't quite get another shot, and he's just trying to decide what he wants to do. And there we go. It was the E4 that clapped him earlier on. I did see that. And it took a lot of his health away. It took like nearly 900 hit points away, which is just absolute. Actually, it did take 900 hit points away. Like, what is that? That's 960 something? Possibly? Maths. It's hard, bro. So he's now got some shots at this FE4005 in E4 because he's got his friends spotting them up. So he's going to basically put in as much damage as he possibly can to try and help them out. If he can get rid of this 4005, that would be great. Unfortunately, he just doesn't quite have the shot because it gets behind the cover. But now he knows that the E4's dropped and the FE4005 have moved back. He can move up. The Death Star's on his left. He's just got to be careful of that guy because, well, Death Stars and 4005s sometimes just like to YOLO just to kill people and then they die. It happens quite often. It's very annoying. They see a target and they're like, squishy. And they come and kill you and then they die, right? It happens time to time. Can be annoying. He gets a nice auto-aimed shot into that TVP from the back. And he's just going to change up his angle again now, because he was being looked at from that direction. So obviously he doesn't want to poke up in the same place twice, because that could be death, especially with the 4005 that you're seeing at the back. Looking at him, which... you don't want to die right now. He's on for a good game. He's done 6.2k damage and 1600 assistance. He is also spotting this guy up, so he's getting a little bit of assistance. Right now, I'd be boosting my food right now to get my few range as high as possible, because maybe the camo's keeping them from being spotted. He's done it now to make sure that he's getting the reloading to get the hesh in as quickly as possible, and he's getting up behind this TVP. Now, the TVP, he can pen with the hesh rounds. He's just got to hit it in the right spot. Unfortunately, hit it in the wrong place there to pen it, but he gives him his side, and he gets that juicy shell into the side. Now, obviously, this has hesh. It's not as good as the FE4202s, but it's got about 105, I think it is, pen, something like that. It's got a lot of pen for a standard HE round. And when you get stuff like the TVP and the FE4005s, you can pen them for a great amount of damage with it. And he penned that other guy for 480 odd with it, which is beautiful. He's up to 7k damage, 2k assistance. He knows where the artillery probably is, but he wants to get the shots into the TVP, but there we go. He's found the artillery. He has the hesh rounds in. He gets one of them. He wants that Pascucci's medal. He's going, gets the second shot in. Oh no, it doesn't quite kill him, and he's going for the little love tap. 15 damage, and he managed to shut down the GW Tiger to get that beautiful Pascucci's medal, because everyone loves a Pascucci's medal. And unfortunately couldn't quite get to the E4, but he does have an absolutely fantastic game in this beautiful British Tier 10 medium tank. And he finishes with the victory. He comes top on his team. And the Centax is a great looking tank as well. I do love the Centax. I love the coverings on the barrel, all the little things about it. And he finishes top on his team. 4 kills, 7.9k damage, 2.1k assistance. So that's what, 10k combined? Maths. Pascucci's medal, the Ace Tanker, Confederate medal, High Caliber, Sniper. And he finishes with 1713 base XP. A really nice Ace Tanker game in the Centurion Action 10 by ChopperMeir. Like I say, go follow Chopper's channels down below, in the description down below. I'll leave them for both people in the description down below. Great guy, like I say, makes great content when he publishes and stuff like that. Go follow the guy, go watch his videos. Always great. He does a lot of guides, he does a lot of videos on different tanks. Like I say, you want to go watch Chopper. So we're on to the second replay, and this time we have the FlyinEgg in the Object 140. Now, FlyinEgg has been on this channel before. He has some utterly ridiculous games. I don't know how he does it. To be honest, he just has utterly ridiculous games all the time, and it blows my mind. It's just like Vishaw in that way, where you just sort of watch it and you go, how the hell have you done that with such consistency? It's crazy. And he does have a YouTube channel as well. He posts his channels, and they're no commentary, but he does post ridiculous games on there. Go watch those. Go check out his channel and see what's cracking, essentially. Now, the Object 140 is one that I haven't played all that much in recent years. I unlocked it a long time ago and then played it a decent amount. I think I played like, 40 games in it, 50 games in it maybe, a long time ago when I first unlocked it. And then, well, it's just not for me. I'm not saying, and that's not to say it's a bad tank, right? Because it's not. It's a very good tank. It's just not for me. I prefer tanks like the 121 with 440 alpha. I'm an alpha whore. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm an alpha whore. I love tanks that have higher alpha for their class or tier. And obviously 440 alpha on a medium tank is great. And I love that. And it's also got good DPM with decent mobility. But this tank is obviously a better tank than the 121. That's because the turret armor is generally better, and the armor in general is better on this tank. It's just, again, it's all down to personal preference. I'm not a big fan of the Kutikusa Russian guns, essentially. That's just me. And nowadays, actually, to be honest, I think the T62A is possibly better than the 140, purely because it's got that better DPM, and it has better turret armor. The buffs that they did to T62A was just insane. That tank is nutty now. But as it's me, I prefer alpha. But that doesn't mean no, because FlyinEgg is going to have an absolutely fantastic time. So what kind of crew do I run on this tank? Well, personally, for me, I run a fairly standard medium tank crew, and that is Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Steady Aim, Trap Mechanic, Camouflage Expertise, and Muffled Shot. And that's because the gun's really good. The guns on these Russian mediums are really good, generally on the 140 T62A. So having the Steady Aim and the Run and Gun helps you a hell of a lot. But then also having the camouflage perks is also great because it has good camouflage, and helping that camouflage out can be a hell of a good way of putting out your damage, essentially. So, FlyinEgg is on highway, and he's taken a very aggressive position down here near the buildings. He hasn't done what I'd normally do, which is basically rush straight under the bridge and then up to where their light tank is right now, or where his light tank is, I should say. And yeah, I mean, he's still making a good time of it. I like to push straight up to that ridge line, though, because obviously you can get good spotting out. But then again, their team has pushed across, and that 140 over there has successfully got onto the one line. That is the only problem with pushing under their ridge on that line over there, is if people do get to the one line successfully from their team, it can hamper your ability to do anything. And obviously FlyinEgg has realised this, and what he's doing is now going to go single out this 140. He's going to help his heavy tank here to get rid of that guy, because the heavy tank is a Samoa, it is a tier 8. And it's going to be a tier 8 facing a tier 10. Obviously, he does have an autoloader, so he can deal some significant damage, which is what he's doing. But the 140 has amazing DPM and can rip that guy apart. So, FlyinEgg's coming in. He's got one shot in. Gives him... Oh, no, he just misses the little love tap. Oh, I was so hoping he'd give him a little love tap and finish him off, because that's always the best way to finish people off, isn't it? Ramming. And he does finish off the 140 anyway. So now the 140's gone. There's the Tusk near his base, and he's like, right, okay, I've got to clean up this base. Help these guys out again, because they seem to be struggling with this Tusk. So the Tusk is coming over. He tries to get a shot into him, but unfortunately it just misses. And he is preoccupied with this guy. So he gets another shot in. Unfortunately, his Panzer E100 misses. And like I said, the Tusk is now driven into a danger zone for himself. And that is straight into the path of the FlyinEgg. It's always a dangerous thing. If you drive into the path of the FlyinEgg, it's just not going to go well. You're just going to end up with egg on your face, aren't you? You know? Oh dear. So yeah, he's now been absolutely wrecked by Mr. Egg here. And now that the Tusk is gone, that's the danger to his base and his side of the map. Gone. So now he's going to push up into the positions that I love to take on this map. And it's one of those maps. When you spawn from the spawn that Mr. Egg had, it can be such a lucrative game for you. Like, there is so many possibilities about what you can do. You can push under this ridge line. You can push through the bridge. You can just go camp at A1 and shoot people as they try and cross. You can go into the town quite successfully without really getting caught out. You can do so much, and like I say, spawning in his spawn is always the case for such a good game. Unfortunately, the other spawn isn't so fortunate. They have the ability to try and get across to the A1 position, and most of the time they'll get wrecked. And unfortunately, if they try and push and people get to where Mr. Egg was, or where I like to push to, they just die. Because they get spotted, they get shot out. The person that hits this bridge line on the 6-7 line can shoot them in the butt without problems, and the people on the 1-2 can also shoot them, which just means they die. And the only successful route for them is basically to sit on the ridge lines at like D, E, 8, 9, or push town. And that's pretty much it. Unless there's a concerted push across that A line, it doesn't tend to go too well. It's a big problem with the map, to be honest, since they changed the spawns a very, very long time ago. Because what it used to be was that everyone spawned in the same place for Mr. Egg's side, and they'd all spawn at J3, which meant that there was equal opportunity to get into the town for his team as there was the other team, and they also had equal opportunities to fight to get to the ridge at A1, 2, and fight at the buildings quite successfully without getting absolutely wrecked. Unfortunate nature of them changing spawns, it just unbalanced the map, and unfortunately it's just not that fun to play from their spawn. But Mr. Egg's making the most of it. He's got 6.5k damage, 337 assistance, and he's spotted this 268 version 5 behind. The FV4202 had got into a good position against him, and he decided, you know what, I'm not sticking about for that. Because the 4202 has 10 degrees of gun depression, and it's a bit of a pain to pen when it's like that. Obviously, Mr. Egg does have heat rounds, and he's taking some pot shots here, which are a little bit questionable. Obviously, I mean, he hit that 268 version 5, and he has got heat rounds, so if he tends to hit a tank, it's going to pen it, because it's got 340 odd pen with the heat, and it's beautiful. But look at his ammo count. He's got 11 rounds left, and 5 HE shells. The time for pot shots is over. He's got to really be careful with his ammo choice, because there's still a lot of carrying for him to be done in this game. And the worst thing for him would be to run out of ammo before it's too soon. So he possibly would have tried to take a chance at that 4202 there earlier on, but he's probably now being mindful of his ammo count. So he's going to change up position. He was spotted there, and he made out as if he was going to run down the 6 line. And he's decided, nope, I'm not running down the 6 line. He's pulling the old tactic, and that is, I'm running that way. Look, I'm running that way. And realistically, once he's unspotted, he's swiveled round and he's completely changing the angle. So he's getting up over here, which means he's probably going to have good side shots of that 4202 and straight down the 9-line path that goes towards the town if he can spot it out. Now, like I say, the 140 has great camo. So if you've maxed out the camo and you've got the good view range out, the possibility is he's probably going to outspot these guys. So this Dragon's in an awkward spot. He's actually behind the bridge, which means that, again, he doesn't want to take that risk with his ammo count, so he's not doing that. The 4202 is also down there. If he takes that, if he was to go down there and get onto the 9 line, he could actually shoot straight down that path and get shots at them, and they probably wouldn't spot him. But he's also probably being mindful as well that there's still artillery in this game. And their artillery will probably be exactly where you'd expect the artillery to be, and that is A0, B0, you know, in that little dip. And obviously, because they've got the Dragon who's still healthy and the 4202 down there, getting spotted in that position may not be a good idea. And if they, well, he is alone, right? He was alone down there. That would have been bad. They could have rushed him. But he does manage to get a nice shot into the Dragon, and then he does get to finish off the 4202, which is great. There's 3 tanks left on his team and 4 tanks left on the enemy team. There's the artillery still, and then the heavy tank, medium tank, and TD. So we know the Dragon's still fairly healthy. We know that the heavy tank was still in town at one stage, and we know probably where the artillery is going to be, unless the artillery's used his joystick and moved into a good position. He spots the Jagdpanzer up, and disaster. The Jagdpanzer is still healthy, but that spot has helped his TD friend. He has got his Jagdpanzer in the middle, and the Jagdpanzer, with a massive low roll, does manage to blap their Jagdpanzer, which is great. It gives him a massive chunk of assistance. And because he's got heating, it's not going to be too bad to take out, because like he can still shoot the superstructure and the cheeks of the Jagdpanzer to shut it down. He's got a nice shot into the side of this 705A. Now, obviously, it's a little bit awkward with the 705A because it's a lot of spaced armour on the sides, and that with heat, it could just get absorbed. And unfortunately, he didn't do anything there. I think he must have been able to move after he got unspotted. It was a really random position for that 705A to be in. But he's just trying to figure out what he wants to do next. So now he knows the 705A is down there. That 705A has shots at him. And it's a little bit awkward. And he's just got to play very, very carefully. Because while he's in a good position, he's still got 6 rounds left. Which is, what, 1,800 damage. He's still got 1,555 hit points. He's still got TD left in the Jagdpanzer. And he's still got heavy. He's on 8 kills, as you see there. Didn't realise how many kills he's on already. He's on 7.5k damage. He's having a worldie of a game. He's just got to be careful, because obviously 650 alpha on the 705A and 1,000 alpha on the Jagdpanzer. And then there's the Dragon with 400, or, well, 390. The game can turn on its head in the blink of an eye if he gets caught out. So he's just got to be careful. And he's just waiting for his heavy tank to move up. And there we go. The heavy tank moves up and spots this Jagdpanzer. Because he's got heat rounds in, I was about to say he should be able to pen him no matter the angle, because he's got such good pen and just heat rounds, but he ends up bouncing there somehow. Frustrating when those random bounces happen. You're on such low ammo count, I should say. And it's actually because he probably hit a very tight angle there. I actually thought he was looking at his side, but he was probably looking at his rear, so he caught it at a weird angle. He's managing to farm some good shots into this Jagdpanzer. The Dragon ends up getting out-spotted there, and he can't quite get the shot at him. And you see, he's having to be careful, because he doesn't want to get the Jagdpanzer to turn around and shoot him, because the Jagdpanzer will know where he is, because he's been farming him in the back, right? But the Jagdpanzer's clearly focusing on the heavy tank, so now is the time for him to move forward. Now, again, artillery is in the back of his mind. He knows the artillery is probably somewhere in that dip, and he's either looking at where his heavy tank is or waiting for the egg to get spotted. Now, he's waited for that shot on the Dragon. He gets the nice shot on the move. He was making sure, and I think he was probably holding out for the kill there, let's be honest, and he ended up getting it. Now, he's on 9 kills, and it's like, hello, Mr. T92. He's loading the HE. The 705A kills it. It probably would have actually been better just to get a shot in there. Now, he gets a shot into the lower plate, and he's probably thinking he can get this kill in before the 705A gets it, and he does, and that is his 10th kill. There you go. He got what he wanted. I don't think he was expecting the 705A to be focusing on the artillery then, and I thought personally he was probably focusing on the Jagdpanzer that was chasing him, but he did get the artillery, and he did manage to get his Pools medal, and there's still one tank left, and it's a heavy tank. I think it's that 705A that was spotted earlier on, and it's now going to find him. He only has 5 rounds of HE left, which is going to make this fight awkward, because the 705A is a very heavily armoured tank. And the 705A is not going to get damaged that easily with the HE. I mean, realistically, he's probably going to have to go for rear shots to do any kind of damage with a 100mm HE. And rear shots, he's probably looking at, like, what, 90 damage? And that guy's on 405 hit points. So if he was to get all 5 shots into his rear, he'd probably be able to kill him. But what he's going to do is use his hit points, trap the 705A in place, and be able to get round him so that he can pump the HE shells into the weaker armour behind him. 39 damage. Yeah, this is going to be painful. He gets up behind him again. He's looking for where he's going to shoot it to 69 giggity, and he takes another hit. He pumps a big HE shell into his rear, and there you go, 121. He's got 1 shell left, 102. If he'd managed to get those shots into those same spots, he probably would have killed that guy with HE. But unfortunately, he's out of ammo. But he does have 2 teammates that are coming after him. So what he's going to do is he's going to play, looky, look at me, look at me. He's not going to do what a lot of people would do when they've run out of ammo and go, oh, I'm just going to leave this to you two guys because I'm out of ammo. There's nothing I can do here. I'm out. But he's just keeping this guy interested because this guy doesn't know he's out of ammo, right? He doesn't know he's out of ammo, so he's keeping the focus of the 705A. Now his 705A's here. It's like, hey, just keep looking at me, you can get a kill. Okay, now you've mucked up. And hopefully his friends are going to be able to shut this guy down. And there we go, the 705A shuts him down. That was a lesson of what to do when you have no ammo. Don't run away, just keep yourself in vision, keep them distracted, and your teammates can get it. And he finishes off with a fantastic game in the Object 140. 10 kills, 9k damage, 1700 assistance, the Pools medal, Devastator, Ace Tanker, High Caliber, and a beautiful 2k base XP in the tier 10. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Check out the Flying Egg.
A great success!